So what do you want to know?
What started you in amateur radio?
Beer.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. So what got me into ham radio is a multitude of things. I started out as a young person. I was given a shortwave radio, and so I was introduced relatively early to, beyond line of sight receiving. And so I always kind of had that interest of radio, fun things you can hear from far off places. Then later when I was a Boy Scout, I had a Scoutmaster that was a radio enthusiast. He didn't do the best job of explaining what radio was, but I knew what he was doing, right? And it was interesting to me. Then later, basically my first couple years at Boeing, I was working in a lab environment, an integration lab, and I had a lab manager who was basically my first Elmer. He said, hey, you really got to look into this ham radio thing. It's kind of like what we're doing with satellite ground stations and all that, at least at the time. And took me from the Anaheim Boeing, we took a lunch, and we went to the Anaheim HRO, and I bought my first radio, which was a Yaesu FT60.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's what got me into ham radio. Oh, and I got a Gordon West book too.
And where we can find you?
On the YouTubes. No, ham radio crash course on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the Discord. So check that out too. Thanks, Frank. Good question.
Steve, good game, man. Your call sign?
K5ATA.
And my question for the Hamfest is, what got you in amateur radio?
My neighbor, actually, in
Your neighbor?
1993 in California.
Uh-huh.
He got his no-code tech license that kind of inspired me, and then when I moved to Mississippi, I got licensed. So I was this close to being a 6-call, ended up with a 5-call in Texas.
Oh, man, you got the 5 call. That's the right call.
That's the right call.
Awesome. And what's the ARRL up to these days?
So, well, we're up to a lot of stuff. Me specifically, I'm up to, we're promoting our Teachers Institute. We're trying to grow that program, running 5 of those this year. I'm going to have about 60 teachers come through and take amateur radio back to their classrooms.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. And where can we find information about that?
ARRL.org/TI. It is a donor-funded program. We pay for airfare, food, lodging, and I send you back with about $1,000 worth of gear to use with your kids. Fox hunting stuff, all kinds of goods.
You get the gear too?
You get the gear too.
Sign up. Go. Do it. Now. Why are you still watching me?
Hey, man, why are you watching Frank? Come email me instead.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for being here, Frank.
Have a awesome Hamfest.
What got me in amateur radio? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. It really stems from my love of guns, actually. And I have this app on my phone that kind of just conglomerates all kinds of news that I'm into, and brings in a lot of different gun articles and things. And back in probably, I think it was 2016, I was reading an article, if you remember the Oregon standoff, where some farmers were fighting with the government over their, who owned the land and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, they were all armed, and they're using these Baofeng, these cheap $25 Baofeng ham radios to communicate. And I was like, wait a minute, I know about ham radio. My dad's a ham radio operator. He's been one his whole life. There's been a freaking tower in the yard in his house that I may or may not have climbed when I was a little kid when he was out at work.
Oh, nice. We can set that up.
But I never, me and my brother never got into ham radio. I don't know if it's because my dad never showed us, or probably because we were just too young to care. But then I'm reading this, and it's like, at that same time, I was kind of, me and some friends at work were getting into, not prepping, but like, building like go bags and to-go bags and kind of things like that. And, just underground shelters. Yeah, no big deal. But not, kind of prepper adjacent. Just like, I'm not a prepper, but I understand, So, in Michigan and the whole northwest of the country, back in like 2003, there was a blackout.
Wait, where's Matt?
Like literally all of the states were just, we didn't have power for like a week. So we didn't have comms, we didn't have anything, because cell phones don't work when there's no power, right? So thinking of the mindset that I'm in now, of like, what if the grid goes down, what if there's no comms, how do we communicate? communicate. Ham radio was it. So I bought, like right after I read that article, I went on Amazon, bought a Baofeng, and then I downloaded a book called the Fast Track to Your Technician License. I just downloaded an ebook from the Apple bookstore, whatever the heck it is, and I read that in like 4 hours. And then I went on to the ARRL's website to where they have the next VE sessions around me. And there was one like 50 miles south of me, and the soonest one was like 2 weeks from, today, call it. So I'm just studying and studying, taking practice tests on my phone until I'm passing, and now it's just like I'm jonesing to go take my license test, and got that and passed, got my technician, and started talking to people on the repeaters and stuff and making friends, and a year later I upgraded to general and got on HF, and it's just completely consumed my life ever since, and now here we are at Orlando HamCation almost 7 years later. So yeah, how's that for an answer?
That's a great answer.
Good.
Can we find you?
Where can you find? Well, I'm right here.
Perfect.
Or you can go to YouTube and go to K8MRD Radio stuff. That's me.
I'm with Eric. What's your call sign?
KJ4YZI.
And where are you from?
Vero Beach, Florida.
Awesome. And what got you into amateur radio?
CB radio was the first instance into radio that I had. My 10th birthday present was a Cobra 29 that I asked my dad for because he was in the CB and I used to talk on his radio when I was like 7 or 8, and he didn't know I was talking on his radio. I used to have to sneak in the car. So then once I got my radio, 10 years old, I realized how to hook up the batteries, how to talk to people, and by the time I was 16, I was already meeting people that were into ham radio. By the time I was 18, I was licensed.
Awesome, awesome.
Or no, I was licensed actually in 2004, so I was 22.
Uh-huh. And what are you up to on your channel?
Nothing, not a lot right now. Just kind of trying to just make whatever content seems beneficial to anybody that's just getting into ham radio or whatever. I mean, I really don't have a plan or a script or a concept at all.
But your channel's Ham Radio Concepts.
Yeah, I know. But I got a bunch of cooking videos to put on there.
Ooh, I like cooking videos. What are you cooking?
Oh, a lot of stuff. I am a chef too, so I have done a lot in a restaurant for 12, 13 years. I'm not in a restaurant anymore, but I just, I just do whatever I can on the channel. You got to think about something. There's a video coming, and I think Tank will appreciate this. I got about $6,000 of cigars that I want to show. Some of these you'll never see in your life. And I figured collectors or people that are into ham radio have their own way of collecting cigars, their own things they like, their own brands, their own things they don't like. Same thing goes for ham radio. You got people that don't like Baofengs, you got ICOM only people, you got people that put all this stuff brand new in boxes, you got people that buy stuff and it's thrown all over the floor. Same thing goes with cigars. So I'm going to show my cigar collection, and I hope that the handful of people that do enjoy cigars and ham radio get benefit, and the people that don't, maybe they unsubscribe and leave, and we'll get other people to come in that will like to appreciate a little bit of something other than me showing about a radio and a review. That's my bottom line.
We get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you. Yes. Because
I like that.
I mean, absolutely. You just said it perfect.
Yeah. All right. Where can we find more information about you?
I guess just go to YouTube and type in Ham Radio Concepts, and you'll see something.
Awesome.
Click on the videos thing and find something you like to watch, I guess.
Yep. Have a good Ham Fest, man.
Hey, you too, Tank. Thanks. 7-3, everyone.
Steve, what's your call sign?
Kilo Mike 9 Golf.
It's Kilo Mike 8 Golf, actually.
Right. This weekend only. 1% off.
What got you in amateur radio?
On this HamCation battle.
Moving to the middle of nowhere in frozen Wisconsin.
Frozen?
Frozen. It's currently 26 degrees in my hometown.
Ooh, that is frozen.
For reference, it's above 80 degrees here in Florida today.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm regret not wearing shorts.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not wearing shorts too.
So what have you been up to lately?
Today we're doing a POTA with all the toads. So it's pretty awesome.
How many contacts have you got so far?
Me? 0.
The radio's open. Get on it.
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
It's the 5 or the 6.
Thanks for swinging by, man.
Yeah, anytime, Frank.
With 2 cables coming out the back.
Try this with cigar in hand here. John,
Hi.
how's it going? What's your call
It's going
sign?
good. N9UPC.
And the question of the Hamfest is, how'd you get into amateur radio?
So it's bittersweet.
Bittersweet?
Bittersweet. So grandma got cancer. So I was living with grandma at the time. My grandma got cancer, horrible thing. So I had to stay and help because it was before hospice and everything like that. So really what I was doing, playing scanners and I was playing CBs. What I was doing was taking CBs and I was modifying them. Won't tell anybody, right?
That's too long ago.
Too long ago. We didn't forget it. 7 years, right?
Yeah.
But what happened is my dad was a ham way back in the day, KA9GKF out of Illinois, and he let his license expire.
Yep.
And he put me on the road to ham track to use my powers of good and not evil. Is the way I tell people. So I got my ham ticket actually when I was 13. Studied, did the book, everything like that. Had to go all the way up to Duluth, Minnesota, got it. But that's what I did because I was just cooped up in the house and I had to do something.
That's good. I like how the story ends.
It did. It was a good
It's
story.
a little bittersweet. What's your channel?
My channel is HamCation Cigars.
Communication and Cigars. And what are you smoking since you said cigars?
You know what? I am smoking today, thanks to you. Padron, what is this one?
I think it's like a 3,000, 4,000. It's one of those series.
Yes, it is very nice. It's a box press. I like it. It's not too harsh, not too. It's perfect.
Perfect?
It's perfect.
It's one of my go-to cigars. I highly recommend it. Just if you don't know what to grab one of those.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and have a good Hamfest.
Thanks for having me.
Steve, what is going on, man?
What's going on, Frank?
So the question of the Hamfest is, what got you into amateur radio?
Believe it or not, a charity bike ride.
Charity bike ride?
Yes, I was doing the motor marshal on my motorcycle, and my dad and I have CBs built into the bikes. We were losing comms between the two of us. The support and gear vehicles were running around, all run by hams, and they were talking all the way across town. With that, I went, I can make my bike do this. So I went out and got my license.
Nice.
And I've just gone all the way through to extra and become a VE, and now I'm testing people online.
Awesome.
Having fun.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
You want to tell us a little bit about the bike ride?
So the charity bike ride is called Lovella. It's for the Hollings Cancer Center out of Charleston, South Carolina. And it's a 100-mile, well, they've got 3 routes. They've got a 10-mile, a 50-mile, and a 100-mile pedal bike around Charleston through like the Francis Marion Forest and everything.
This is about the only show I
And
go
they
to.
just raise money for the cancer center.
Awesome.
We've had a couple of big names come out, and yeah, the hams basically run the operation, and I've just had fun.
Yeah,
We've been doing it 3 years now.
The experience.
Sweet.
I got it on first year.
Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely, anytime.
Well, the question of the Hamfest is, what got you into amateur radio?
CB.
CB?
Yep.
Give me this back.
Chicken man.
No, man. Well,
Seriously, I'm not joking.
uh-huh.
No, some guys I went to high school with, we were all in college together. And this was, and back then, cell phones charge you by the minute per day. So we're like, instead of getting cell phones, let's get CB radios. So we got CB radios in our cars, and we would talk around town and everything. And then through the CB radio, I met a guy, and he's like, you guys should get your ham license, and I didn't know what that was. So 2 of us went out and got our ham license, and ever since then, it's just been taking over my whole life.
Yeah, literally.
Literally taking over my whole life. So, yeah, but no, I started on CB radio. I don't mind. I still have a CB. The last time I had the CB mounted in the truck and hooked up and everything, I didn't hear very much activity on it at all. And a lot of truckers today have gone to GMRS, which I also have in the truck. So, but I still have a place for CB radio. I still use it sometimes. But obviously, ham radio is much more versatile. A lot more to it. Works better, sounds better, in my opinion. But nothing wrong with CB radio.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Gets you in the hobby.
Yep.
Awesome.
In the hobby.
Thanks, Jason.
You bet.
Ham Radio Venture Guy.
What's up, Frank?
Ham Radio Venture Guy.
What's up, Frank?
Ham Radio Venture Guy.
What's up, Frank?
I had to do it again. What's your call sign?
Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu, November.
And how did you get into amateur radio?
Well, I grew up around amateur radio. My dad was a ham radio operator, and he always wanted me to be one. And unfortunately, he passed on me, and I went to get my license to honor him. Didn't plan on going above technician, and one day I got bored and was scrolling through the bands and on his old radio, and I heard Parks on the Air activation. I was like, what is this? So I do what everybody does. I went to YouTube and I checked it out, and the rest is history. Now I'm addicted.
I was going to say that line, and then the rest was history. So how many park activations have you done this year?
I don't know. Every day I can tell you that, but I haven't even been paying attention.
Probably in the 80s or so this year.
80s or so? And your goal for this year is?
Well, not so much activations. My goal for this year is, because I just started CW, is to get 5,000 CW photo contacts and break over 500 unique photo contacts, 500 different ones.
Wow, that's a lofty goal. So we'll be there watching and cheering you on. And what's your channel?
Ham Radio Adventure Guide.
I had to say
You're
it
one stop for everything Adventure Radio.
Yes. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
Tank Radio! Guess who I found? The Smoking Ape. And what's your call sign?
I don't have one yet. I'm still studying for my GMRS.
DRS license, man, that's a hard one. So the question of the Hamfest is, what got you into amateur radio?
I did it because I heard there was a lot of girls involved.
Girls?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. One of my buddies, I always liked radio, but one of my buddies said, hey, we should buy these bow phones for $25. And it's probably like 8 years ago. So ever since.
That's it?
That's it, man.
How long do you guys?
Yes.
We got to move this?
No, I just didn't make sure it does it.
All right, man. What's your plan for today?
Let's go walk around, have fun, meet some people. Maybe get a burger or something.
All right, cool. And get a hat with your call sign?
Maybe.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer.